on the 24th of May 2021. This is taking place remotely via the Teams. So good afternoon. I just want to make you aware that this meeting will be recorded, and can you please turn your phones on to silent. Should you wish to ask a question, can you please use the electronic hand or indicate in the chat, but don't use the chat for any form of debate within the meeting. Right, so before I start the meeting proper, I can see John Miller's got his hand up, and we have had a meeting with Nadine, so I apologise to you, Councillor Miller, if there was a problem with you understanding whether the meeting had actually been cancelled or not. So would you like to say something?
Yes, thank you, Chair. As I've said in many different arenas, I think that the system is not fit for purpose. However, one of the problems we've got, particularly with licensing, is that so many committees have almost got the same name. Yeah, we need to sort that out ASAP, please. Okay. The other thing I was going to ask, Chair, seeing as Councillor Meisen is here, do you need me to carry on with this meeting? Okay, well, I'll just deal with the first thing that you raised first. I have had a little conversation with Nadine, and what we're going to try and do now in future is, if a meeting is cancelled, Nadine will also send out an email to all members of the committee, actually highlighting which one is actually cancelled and which one, or maybe more than one, is actually still going ahead, so that we're going to try and make it easier for members, because I do take your point. It is very confusing on time. So my apologies for the system not working for you and that you weren't able to take part in the previous meeting. So I'm sorry about that. And we'll see how it goes with this new system about emailing, and then hopefully we will have solved the problem. Okay, so the second bit then, Nadine, we need to go to matters of interest first before we can actually dismiss the reserve. Yeah. So if we'll carry on with the meeting just for a short time, and if you're not required, Councillor, I'll release you. Okay. So welcome to everybody, and we'll have a roll call first of all. Nadine, I'm the chair, Suzanne Paddison, and if you would please just carry on.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Whiteblock.
Present, thank you.
Councillor Ridian Meisen.
Yeah, present, Nadine.
Councillor John Miller.
Present, Nadine.
Neil Chappell.
Present.
And Gavin White.
Present.
Oh, thank you very much. So then we will go to declarations of interest. And can I ask members if they have any declarations of interest to declare? I can't see any hands.
No.
Shaking heads. Okay. So on that basis then, Councillor Miller, you may do whatever it is you want to do. So thank you for your attendance, and I do value the comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so we'll move on then to the first item on the agenda, which is an application to vary the premises licence, Celtic Lodge, Neath. This is a decision item, and I'll hand over now to Neil Chappell.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, members. Agenda item 2 is an application to vary a premises licence of Celtic Lodge, 36 Westermore Road in Neath. This item has been discussed with the responsible authorities and with the local residents who had made representations in respect of the application. They could not come to an agreed position on it, which is why he was coming before members today as a contested hearing. When we put this report together, it looked as if we would be able to proceed with matters today. Unfortunately, it was brought to our attention that there was an administrative error in processing the application. So whilst the applicant had properly advertised the application with the notice on the premises for 28 consecutive days and once in a local newspaper circulating in the area, it was tasked with the local authority to publish a notice on its own website for 28 days. Now, this, for various reasons, which I've looked into, wasn't done on this particular occasion. The notice was put onto the website, but it was put on 19 days after it should have gone on. And then because of an automated process, it actually came off on the 28th day of the consultation. So it was on for roughly 9 to 10 days. When it should have been on for the 28th. Now, to ensure that there is complete fairness in this process, the decision has been suggested that we put the notice back onto our website to complete the 28 days, whereby members of the public will be able to submit further representations, just to make sure that nobody has been prejudiced against in this process. And then bring it back to members once that period is finished. So the recommendation today, Chair, if members are content, is for us to proceed with that process, put the notice onto our website and defer the meeting today.
Yeah, I totally understand. Does any other member of the subcommittee have any questions for Mr. Chappell on this? No? Okay, then the recommendation is that we defer it until it is actually completed the legal process and that everything is as it excuse me, as it should be. Are we all in favour?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Mr. Chappell, we'll come back to that when it's ready. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so item number 3 is an application for a grant of premises licence and off licence. This is for decision again. The recommendation is on page 33 that we take into account all the documentation and make a decision. So would you like to take the committee through?
Yes, thank you, Chair. This is an application for the grant of a premises licence. The premises name is just off licence. We weren't given a name during the application process. The address being 24 Station Road in Port Talbot. And the applicant being a David George Davis, who was represented by Hutchison Thomas solicitors. There has been various negotiations during the consultation period, and there was a sticking point left over a serving hatch that was going to operate after 10 or 11. 10 o'clock in the evening, and there was a debate over whether they could use a serving hatch or whether an SIA door staff member would be required. It was initially down to come before members today to hear that particular point, but I can inform members that that has now been agreed, and this effectively has come before members for approval. The responsible authorities are now content, and there are no, assuming that the conditions are attached to the licence, there are no more representations in respect of it, and the responsible authorities are happy for this to be approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chappell. Any members of the subcommittee? I do apologise, I've got a frog in my throat. Any members of the subcommittee have any questions or comments on this item?
Just
No.
move.
No.
Move,
Thank you. You move that it be approved. Seconded. Councillor Myson? Yeah, lovely. So that has been approved as per the conditions. Sorry, my iPad is not too sensitive. So we'll move on then to item 4, application of grant of premises licence at Cook Distilling Solutions. Mr. Chappell, please.
Thank you, Chair. This is an application for the grant of a premises licence. As you said, it's Cook Distilling Solutions, Unit 1, former Lloyd's British, Crumlin Burrows in Neath. The applicant being a Cook Distilling Solutions Limited. This application, members, received representations from the South Wales Police and from the Legal Regulatory Services section, which is the licensing officer. and they simply requested that additional conditions be attached to the licence. The applicant has agreed to the imposition of these conditions, and the application is therefore before members today for approval.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chappell. Again, subcommittee members, do you have any questions or comments on this? No. Can I ask for a mover?
Move, Chair.
Thank you. Seconded. Councillor Mason? Yeah, okay, thank you. So that is approved as well. I'm just going back to my, that was 4-5. Okay, application for the grant of premises licence again, this time by Paul Talbot Rocks.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, this is again an application for the grant of a premises licence. Port Talbot Rocks, Ennis Park in Carmarthen Road, Port Talbot. The applicant being Chris Parsons. This, members, is an application for a music event, which is going to be held twice yearly. The application received representations from the South Wales Police Environmental Health section and the Legal Regulatory Services section, being the licensing officer, and they all requested that additional conditions be attached to the licence. Various negotiations have taken place, and all parties now agree that this hearing is necessary, assuming those the agreed conditions are attached to the licence. So the application before members today for approval.
Yeah, I can see that it's for the first weekend of September and last weekend in April. So I presume it's not just for 1 year, that would be a rolling. So that's why they haven't put a year on it, is it?
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
okay, there we are. That's fine. Okay, anybody else have any questions or queries on this? Can I have a mover, please?
I'll move, Chair.
Thank you. Seconded.
Yeah, second, Chair.
Thank you, councillors. Okay, we're bumming along here. Item number 6 is application for a grant of premises licence again. This time for the premises name will be The Front, but it's the old Burger King site on Hollywood Park. Mr. Chappell?
Thank you, Chair. Yep, application for the grant of a premises licence. The Front, Old Burger King site, Hollywood Park, Princess Margaret Way in Port Talbot. The applicant being a Richard Hibbard. This application came in and there were representations received from South Wales Police, Environmental Health and the Legal Regulatory Services section, being the licensing officer. And again, requested additional conditions be attached to the licence. The applicant has agreed to the imposition of these additional conditions and a final hearing is therefore unnecessary. The application is before members today for approval.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chappell. I'm pretty relieved that the business of the drive-through was sorted.
Yes, yes, it was.
Okay, members, any other questions or comments on this application? I have a mover.
Just one comment at all, Chair, to say it's a welcome addition to the front there. You know, it's you know, Remo's is very well used, and I think it all goes well for the front of a Brabham, really, and because people got someone else to go, you know. And you know, Mr. Hibbard, you know, he has a cafe put in the town centre in Port Talbot anyway, and that's very well used. So yeah, welcome, miss.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Councillor Mason. I'm often asked as a beach-facing councillor, isn't there anything we can do? But the only thing we can do is proceed with the process when somebody applies to have a business there. So, which is what we're doing today. So I'll go back to asking for a mover.
I'll move, Chair.
For a second,
yeah, lovely. So that again is approved, and I believe that was it. Oh no, 7. There we are. There you go, Lily's. Yeah. Item 7 was an application for a grant of premises licence once more. Lily's wholesale clearance, the Lodge Service Station, Shalon Road. Mr. Chappell.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, as you said, a grant of a premises licence for Lily's wholesale clearance, Lodge Service Station, Shalon Road in Britton Ferry. The applicant being a Sean James Catering Limited. This application came in and there were representations from South Wales Police and the Legal Regulatory Services section, being the licensing officer, requesting that additional conditions be attached to the licence. The applicant has agreed to the imposition of these conditions.
Mm.
All parties are in agreement that the final hearing is unnecessary, and the application is before members today for approval.
Okay. Once again then, members, do you have any comments or questions on this application?
No.
I'll go for ask for a mover then, please.
I'll move, Chair.
Second, Chair.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, so those are the items on today's agenda, which have all been processed. I have no other items to discuss. So I would just like to thank the licensing department, because these things take a lot of time behind the scenes, and we do appreciate that when it comes to us, all the hard work has been done and is just the decision. So thank you very much, and thank you to legal as well for attending today. Okay, I'll close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Chair.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.